Good morning. John Gilkison here. I haven't shot a video in a while, so I've been holding off until we got our book published, and I wanted to shoot a book video. Um, on July 2nd, we got our book Tikopia IV put up on Amazon, and it took a couple days, but we got the Kindle version up July 4th or 5th, I can't remember which. Um, the books, the paperback book's on sale for $12.99, and the Kindle version is $7.99. It's a science fiction book, and it's to the back. It's about 267, 68 pages long. All I have right here is the proof copy. We haven't gotten the final copy yet in the mail. As I said, it's a science fiction story, and I actually started thinking about writing the book in the early 1990s. And it's based on an idea I had about interstellar migration of the human race to another star system to find a new planet. And what gave me the idea was after I met Gerald O'Neill in the early 1980s, and he's the father of space colonies. And it occurred to me you could make a really big space colony that rotated. You know, it would be shaped like a bicycle tire, let's say. And it could be, if it was big enough, it could be open to the atmosphere. In other words, if the bicycle tire or torus-shaped space colony had sidewalls up to 30 kilometers high, then it would hold an atmosphere because of the induced gravity from rotation, centrifugal force, and so it could be open to space just like the atmosphere of Earth is. And so I designed one which is really large. It's got a radius of 500 kilometers, which, so you're talking about a strip of land 50 kilometers wide that arcs up in a circle around you 3,141 kilometers till it comes back on itself. So, and I put 250,000 people on this thing, and to drive it through space I decided we needed antimatter drive, of course, to get it up to speed. Of course, after it was up to speed, it would just be coasting. And in deep space, you'd need your own miniature fusion sun in the center. And then there'd have to be a big light baffle in the center to have a day-night side. And then you would have to literally store the atmosphere and the oceans on the things when you was going to do a retro burn to go into orbit, because that would change the centrifugal force would literally change the vector of the artificial gravity on the arc. And so my idea was that this would be a good symbol for the Earth, and the 250,000 humans would have to be sustainable over about 1,000 years, because the craft's only doing about 8 million miles an hour. So it would take 1,000 years to get to Tau Ceti. And so you could go over all the rules that they had to follow on board in order to stay sustainable, including a controlled population, a controlled economy, and so forth. And again, this would be a good symbol for Earth. And then when you get to the planet, they'd have to have an expanded set of rules for how they would structure their society on board the planet. So, um, didn't really start writing on it until 2003. Then I put it away till 2012, and I was struggling with an ending, and I really didn't settle on an ending until after I met Guy McPherson in 2015, 2016, and decided to go with this near-term human extinction thing, because that's the reason the colonists left Earth for another star system, was that human life on planet Earth was no longer tenable, and so they decided to create a society that corrected all the problems they'd seen on Earth that led to the extinction of the human race there. And so there's your storyline, and then of course in my mind the whole idea of an ark, I mean, it's just a monumental engineering project to build in space that it's not really possible now. It would cost trillions of dollars to even attempt it, and it we don't have antimatter drive, and we don't have we can't create a miniature fusion sun. We can't do all these things, and at least at present. So I have a hero in the story. It's a woman journalist named Ida Tarbell, and she's modeled after the Ida Tarbell who took down Standard Oil in 1905 with her exposés in McClure's magazine. And what she's doing is interviewing various experts aboard the Ark about what happened to the Earth. Why didn't they correct their behavior in time to save themselves? And this expose is meant to outline the reason for the rules aboard the ship, so that people will understand why they have to have these rules. And so it turns out in the last couple chapters, and I don't like giving the ending away here, but she wakes up and she's really on Earth still. She's been sick and she's having lucid dreams, and she knows that none of this is really possible. And the year's 2039, and she's in Argentina. She's migrated there with her husband to escape the worst effects of global warming. But it's too late. Abrupt climate change has caused such heating on the planet that, well, it's December in Argentina and that's summer down there, and during the day they're having wet bulb temperatures so high that humans cannot live outdoors for more than 30 or 40 minutes during the middle of the day. And so her husband's missing, and it turns out he went to find help because she was sick, and she goes out to find him. She does find him, and he tried to commandeer an airplane to go see if he could find help, and he crashed at the end of the runway. And I'm going to leave it there. It's a good symbol for the predicament we face. I mean, we're on a planet, but this planet's in space, and so these people are on a space colony. It's constructed like a planet. It has, an artificial gravity by rotation, and it has an atmosphere, and it's open to space, so you can observe the stars and so forth, and at night. And so it's planet-like, except the horizons don't curve away from you. The horizon curves up, so you can actually look straight up over your head theoretically and see the opposite side of the miniature planet you're on. So, um, it's a good symbol. I mean, our situation really hasn't changed, whether we're on a spacecraft or we're on spaceship Earth. It's one and the same thing, and I think that's the moral of the story. I also, at the end of the book, we added a bookmark, a complimentary bookmark, which my dad wrote in the 1950s and 60s. He studied literature at Case Western Reserve, and so he just wanted to put out a bookmark that summarized the rules of good literature, living literature. And it never got published. I copyrighted the bookmark in 1988, and once we wrote this science fiction story, I thought that's a really good place to put that bookmark at the end of this book. After the biographies and my biography, there's the bookmark on the very last page. And if you buy the book, you can actually either just cut out the bookmark, or you could scan it and print it out and use it for a bookmark. And it's a nice little freebie to go with the book. So there you have it. Here's the book on sale at Amazon, and this is the Kindle version. Of course, looks the same. And there's a summary of the book, which is on the back page. And so there you have it. I hope you'll consider ordering the book and giving it a read. And if you do and you like the book, I would like to see some good book reviews, summaries on Amazon for it. We need some people to review it for us. So thank you, and we'll be seeing you down the road. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.